Hey, it's me, Riker. Today we're going to have a look at the brand new Awakened hero, Shemira the Soulreaver. Now, this hero is part of the Graveborn faction, wears cloth-based gear, is part of the tank class, and the primary role is to provide a significant amount of defensive layers for your teammates through her cheat devs and various other effects, and also the amount of control effects that she can provide through her other abilities. So let's have a look at her skills. Her ultimate skill, Soul Siphon. Now this ability comes into two components, the passive and the active component. Now the passive component, irrespective of whether Shemira has used the ultimate or has any amount of energy, this will always be active. Now Shemira receives 20% less magical damage at all times. When taking physical damage or damage that ignores defense, 70% is converted into magic damage. Now, because she's a cloth wearer, she'll have a massive amount of flat magic damage reduction. In addition, she'll also have an extra 20% from this ability over here, making her super tanky when fighting enemies. Now, when she uses her ultimate skill, her active component, Shemira wields soul flames to unleash the power of her lantern chain, dealing 3 strikes of damage equal to 15% of her max health to all enemies. She also pulls out the souls of the nearest and farthest enemy heroes to generate ephemeral spirits that last up to 5 seconds. Now, the ephemeral spirit is a ghost-like copy of the enemy hero. Ephemeral spirits have 50% of the hero's health and 30% of their defense. When an ephemeral spirit takes damage, 70% is passed to their hero, so the copy that hero was created of, but the damage passed in a single strike cannot exceed 50% of Shemira's max health. And up to 2 ephemeral spirits can be pulled out of each enemy hero. So you can have a total of 10 copies of the enemy heroes attacking the enemy, distracting them, and inflicting thorns-like damage back onto the enemy heroes. The passive, or the level 2 upgrade, Shemira's normal attacks reduce the target's current energy by 10%. The level 3, after using Soul Siphon, Shemira launches 1 tortured souls at enemy heroes whose souls have been pulled out. So let's have a look at the next ability. Dreadful Dance. The passive component, when an enemy hero suffers an effect that reduces their energy or reduces their energy recovery, Shemira launches a tortured soul at them, dealing damage equal to 10% of their max health to a target and to all enemies in its path. This damage cannot exceed 10% of Shemira's max health, and the effect can only be triggered 3 times every 10 seconds. When a tortured soul deals damage, it heals the ally with the lowest health percentage for 7.5% of Shemira's max health. So in addition to her defensive or distraction capabilities through her ultimate, she also can heal her allies. The level 2, when an enemy hero takes damage from a tortured soul 3 times, their defense is permanently reduced by 17.5%. This effect can stack up to 4 times. So this is a grand total of 70% defense reduction that she can apply to the enemy heroes. The level 3, when an enemy hero takes damage from a tortured soul 3 times, their energy recovery is permanently reduced by 25%. This cannot stack. The level 4, for every 5 tortured souls Shemira launches, the next will be enhanced, reducing 100 extra energy upon dealing damage and preventing the target from recovering energy for the next 2 seconds. So this is a massive amount of control, both reducing the enemy's energy and stopping them from gaining any further energy for the next couple of seconds. And the level 5, when launching a tortured soul, Shemira will launch an extra 1 at the enemy hero with the lowest health percentage. Now, because it travels through the air and will pass through multiple targets, this is a massive amount of defensive and offensive capabilities that this ability has. So let's have a look at the next ability over here, Soul Sanctuary. Shemira grants herself and an ally with the lowest health percentage the Soul Sanctuary effect for 5 seconds. Prioritizing backline heroes. Now, what this Soul Sanctuary is a little blue health bar that will appear on your existing hero's health bar. So the existing one is green and this one will be blue. This effect dispels most debuffs on the target and grants them immunity to control effect during the effect. While the effect is active, direct damage in a single strike from an enemy cannot exceed 60% of the target's current health. And up upon taking damage, one tortured soul will be launched at the attacker. Up to one tortured soul can be launched during the effect. When the effect ends, the target will be healed for 25% of their health lost. The level 2 upgrade, when casting this skill, Shemira targets the enemy hero with the highest damage and generates one ephemeral spirit. So this is the clone of the enemy hero. The level 3, when Shemira or two allied heroes behind her take fatal damage, they will become immune to that damage and will gain soul sanctuary effect. So this is the reduction to incoming damage. This effect can trigger up to 1 times per allied hero per battle. So let's have a look at our final ability over here, Delay Death. The passive component, when an allied hero is defeated, Shemira will delay their death and keep them fighting for up to 5 seconds. So this is a significant amount of duration. If the target is defeated by an enemy hero, the attacker's soul will be pulled out to generate 1 ephemeral spirit. This allied hero will die when the effect ends, or if they are defeated again while the effect is active. This effect can be triggered once per hero. Level 2, upon triggering, the allied hero becomes untargetable and gains immunity to control effects for 2 seconds. And the level 3, if the ally defeats an enemy while the effect is active, the effect duration is increased by 3 seconds. So this 5 seconds gets increased by a total of 3. So this becomes an 8 seconds longer that your allies can fight in the battle when they have taken fatal damage. So let's have a look at her Awakened skill, Shadowless Flame. When an enemy hero suffers a total reduction of 400 energy points or any effect that prevents energy recovery, Shemira will pull out their soul, generating 1 ephemeral spirit. This effect can be triggered up to 2 times every 12 seconds. The next control effect an allied hero inflicts on an enemy hero will reduce their energy by 100 points. This effect can be triggered once every 12 seconds per allied hero. So as we can see over here, this is one of the ways that you can generate those shadow clones that will fight the enemy hero when Shemira uses her ultimate ability. So let's have a look at how she does in battle over here. So over here, we're going to start off with this training dummy over here. Now I'm going to use only one hero in this battle over here, being Awakened Shemira, and you will see how powerful this hero is dealing with the enemy heroes of similar power and a level deficit. So as we can see, as soon as she starts battle, she'll immediately start slashing the enemy targets over here. Now, every single couple of times, there's the ephemeral spirit, there's another one, and another one as well. This will constantly be traveling through enemies, dealing massive amounts of damage to the enemy heroes. Now, as we can see, there are a couple of shadow clones when Shemira over here uses her ultimate. So as we can see, this is her ultimate animation. Now she'll summon clones, which will deal massive amounts of damage to the enemy heroes. As we can see, there's another clone over here. So your allies can also deal damage to this clone, and this will allow more damage to be inflicted onto the enemy hero, as this is a thorns-like effect, as when the clone takes damage, the enemy hero will take damage as well. Now, because she can solo these enemies so easily, as we can see, she can easily self-heal herself, she can deal massive amounts of damage, and because she has a significant amount of damage reduction through her magic defense, plus that additional effect which converts all damage into magic damage, she can become a significant powerhouse in the front line. So let's have a look at how she does at a much higher level deficit of level 220 levels. So from here, this team over here, we can see I've placed her on the back line. Now in this battle formation, both my frontline allies will most likely die because they're extremely squishy. However, Awakened Shemira will provide the necessary cheat death effects, allowing my backline to survive long enough, and in this case, all of my allies were able to use their ultimates, deal massive amounts of damage, and claim victory for my team. Now, as we can see from this team over here, Awakened Shemira was easily able to compete with Damia and Awakened Belinda as well. However, Awakened Shemira was also able to heal herself and her allies. In addition, she was also able to tank a massive amount of damage that was intended for her allies. So let's have a look at how she does in this battle over here. So when she starts battle, she'll immediately walk up to the front line. There's the little blue bar. This prevents death for a couple of seconds. However, if this damage exceeds a certain percentage, this will kill that hero. So if you have extra healers or additional supports, this will allow your allies to survive much longer in battle over here. Alright, so now we are going to get the cheat death effects from my backline allied heroes. Alright, my allies are ulting, they can survive, and they are getting healed by Awakened Shemira over here. There we go, there's the Awakened Shemira ultimate. Now we can see the Shadow Clones busy distracting and dealing damage to the enemies, and we can see the cheat death effect both on Awakened Belinda and Rosaline as well. This allowed them to survive much longer, use their ultimates, and be more effective in battle. So what is the minimum investment that I would recommend into this hero? Now, because this is an awakened hero, I would highly recommend going to the maxed out tier, both getting her signature item, her furniture, all the way to 30 SI and 9 furniture. And I would highly recommend also going for 60 engravings, as this unlocks her additional effects. However, because she can be extremely powerful even at a single copy, I would even recommend getting only one copy because of the amount of defensive capabilities that she can provide for herself and the amount of distraction she can also provide for her teammates through the ephemeral spirits over here.